Yo, welcome to the No Ideas Original Podcast, episode 130.
Son, look at that. I'm
Yo,
a,
you know what? You know what I gotta look at? I've been meaning to tell you this. For some reason, it's something with like the theme music. Every time we put the theme music on, I get a thing from YouTube saying that that it demonetizes the video, and I gotta go back in and mute that part. I gotta look at that and see what that's about. Like this, it seemed like YouTube may be hating a little bit on our theme song.
they all hating. Shit.
What's up, man? How your week been?
It's been what's this week been like? It's been all right. I'm still trying to shake this cold. And what it is, honestly, is because I'm immune suppressed.
Mm,
So because of the meds that I take, they eliminate a large portion, well, a good portion of my white blood cells
hmm
that are there to fight viruses. But it's there because it needs to keep the kidney safe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't definitely don't want to suffer from no rejection. So if I catch a cold, it just lasts longer than it would
Mm,
normally do because my body's trying to keep the kidney alive, but still trying to keep me healthy. So it's working
yeah.
overtime, and I can feel it because I get real tired. So
Yeah.
drinking a lot of fluids. You know what I'm saying? Taking my lime and my ginger so it keep me, at least my cells a little energized. And
Mm.
trying to eat lightly, man. Like the other day, I had like crazy watermelon.
Yo, it don't help that it's been 90 some days and then other days it's 60
Yeah,
degrees
and
and
my basement is like a fucking ice box down here. Like I know heat rises, but shit,
yo,
it's
but
cold in here, son.
the basement is the best spot in the summer though.
Yeah, because it's super cool,
Mhm.
but it get cold down here, shot for real, son.
Yeah.
We got a I don't know if you see it in the back. We
Oh,
got
okay. Got the pool table on deck. All right.
a pool table in here.
All right. So I see you been doing some decorating down in the man cave.
Yeah, son. Then painted it up. I got some doors put in. I got some other
Nice.
doors to finish doing it. So this is gonna be a little honeycomb hideout for myself. And yo, whenever you come over, man, if you like pool, we trying to just make it real comfortable in here. You know what I mean? And I tell you not, Charnay and inspired me. I walked in like, okay, Charnay, you got it looking like a Plaza slash ESPN.
Yeah, shout out to Shanae. Shanae got the movie room basically in the basement.
with the bar set up to the left,
Mhm.
the whole section. So yeah, I'm
That's
gonna
a
do
big
something nice down there. How about you, bro? What's your week been like?
Ain't none. It's been chill. It's been quiet. Been a nice, light, easy
Right.
week, easy going. I got to get packing though. We haven't packed anything up for the trip to Italy, so I got to get
Yeah.
cracking on that. What's going to be the task for this weekend. And then other than that,
Is
just
it
really
the 11th?
yeah. We leave Saturday. We leave next Saturday. Just laying low, chilling.
That's the best way to be, man. Just lay low, stay out the way, mind
Yeah.
your business.
Yo, so we had a
Ask you
huh?
and let me know what you're doing July 6th.
Oh, we gonna be there.
July 6th?
In July. When's your thing?
Um, July 23rd.
Okay. Yeah, I know we definitely be there. What's happening on the 6th?
July 6th. I don't know if you know, but my sister made me kind of like lead speaker on this men's ministry,
Oh, okay.
along with my father's best friend. And it's funny we talk about homeboy talk about OGs ain't helping nobody, but the whole thing is geared to speak openly and candidly about whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? And just kind of getting the younger brothers to speak their piece because a lot of them feel like they ain't got nobody to talk to. They going through things. It's like so perfect with the fucking Soulja Boy shit.
Oh, okay.
And one of our goals for we do it once a month, the first Wednesday
Mm.
of every month. And this goal is to bring somebody with you. I was gonna invite you if you ain't had nothing to do, just to come, sit,
Yeah.
listen, throw a jewel or two. You know what I mean? And we talk like we at Shanae's house, crazy, just open dialogue about life and and things like that. It's crazy because what I talked about was what we talked about on the last show about the shootings.
Mm.
A those different things. And you put that in perspective. I talked about Mr. Aaron Salters, who came up with the engine run by water.
Mm-hmm.
And my theme for that conversation was technology, and I spoke about how gunpowder was technology, and they use technology against us, and we just kind of fall into what they're doing, and we just kind of mimic what they're doing. But before you know it, we become the culprits of murders, deaths, suicides,
Mm-hmm.
a whole host of things. So if
Yeah.
you're not doing anything, I'm gonna try to invite somebody anything. But if you're not doing
Yeah. Let me know. It's virtual or somewhere we gotta go first?
on Zoom. So what I'll do is I'll send you the link, and you just chime in. That's all.
Bet. You could do that. I'm definitely interested. Yo, we had a crazy news cycle week with that. a lot of interesting stories, yo. So let's get it started. Kicked right off talking about D.L. Hughley versus Monique. Two comedians, and for those who haven't been following along, they kind of got a beef going right now, and the beef comes from a place of where I guess they were both booked on a show,
right.
And D.L. Hughley was under the impression that he was a headliner.
Right.
But Monique was also under the impression that she was the headliner.
Right.
And as a result of it, a riff came about. In fact, D.L. Hughley ended up headlining. He did end up closing out the show. And Monique used her time on stage to sort of ridicule D.L. Hughley.
Ass up.
And talk crazy about him. So now, like, this whole week has been spent with this whole back and forth discussion where they're going back and forth, showing receipts and showing contracts, ticket stubs, and things like that. When I was looking at this though, to me, I looked at this and I said to myself, I have a problem with Monique. And I'm gonna tell you, Rob, what my problem with Monique is. My problem with Monique is that I feel like she weaponizes everything. And when I say she weaponizes everything, it's like, she weaponizes race, she weaponizes gender, she weaponizes weight. I think anything that comes about is always, it's because I'm a black woman. Oh, it's because, I'm a woman. Oh, it's because I'm heavy set. Or because it's just a lot of that. And it's disturbing to me because I think that Monique is a great comedian. But I think that a lot of people have sort of they've soured on her as a result of this weaponizing. Like anytime something comes up, rather than her taking ownership for whatever it is, or actually saying, a person may have a point, she automatically goes to, oh, you saying that because I'm a female? Oh, you saying that because I'm a black woman? Or, oh, you saying that? And it bothers me because there are people that fit those demographics that are really marginalized. Because they're female, because they're a person of color, or because they're obese. Right. Not to say that she doesn't. I don't want to, I don't want to take that away from her. Not to say that she hasn't had experiences that went against her on the basis of that. But I just think that, like, when you always lead with that, it becomes like the boy who cried wolf thing. So to me, somewhere there is a female comedian, a female actress, how you call it, a woman that's just being marginalized and has these experiences as a result of these different things. To me, a lot of her experiences is just a result of her being a dick. And that's just it. Like, I'm serious. It doesn't really have anything to do with the fact that she's a black woman. Right. It just has everything to do with that she's obnoxious. She's even weaponized relationships. Like, you look at the relationship with her and her husband or whatever. Like, anytime anybody offers any criticism about, maybe your husband shouldn't be your manager. Oh, you don't want to see a man and wife together. Oh, you don't want to see this.
Right. She goes for the low hanging fruit, man. And if it sounds like a sound bite, she's gonna use it. But to her defense, just a little bit, she doesn't start anything. She doesn't start any of the ruckus. Lee Daniels situation, Tyler Perry, Oprah. I mean, the list goes on. Those things weren't things that she initiated. She spoke about them after they happened, but
for clarification purposes, as it relates to that, where did those people start with her? Like, what she didn't. I don't see what what basically happened. And correct me if I'm wrong. With Lee Daniels, Tyler Perry,
said she's pretty much
and Oprah Winfrey. So this is
she She wants things her way. She can't have things her way. You know, kind of like what the situation is now. You know, and they coming out with these receipts like what she said. A deal memo is much different than the contract, but the deal
Yo,
memo the deal you had said it 100% headliner.
yo. So here's the thing though, like her, because just to go back to her stuff with Lee Daniels, Tyler Perry, and Oprah Winfrey, and where it emanates from.
Charlamagne the God, she got
So,
tidbits with everybody.
so that came from a place of where she did Precious. She agreed to whatever amount she agreed to for Precious. They wanted her to go on a press run overseas, and she wanted to be compensated. I don't see anything wrong with her asking for the compensation.
Mm-hmm.
They told her no, we ain't gonna compensate you for it or whatever. And then, you know, afterwards there was a whole big dust up or whatever it was, and then people said, well, you know, she earned, or they end up, a narrative was created that she's difficult to work with, you know. And then from there, I think that, you know, she probably did get blackballed and ostracized. But I don't think that anybody sought out to be like, before any of this stuff, like, yo, Monique is this, that, or whatever it is. Like, to me, the thing with her, again, I want to go back to like weaponizing. I think that when things don't go her way, she just throw a hissy fit around stuff.
Yo, son, she unfortunately she's a Sagittarius like me. When we hear certain things, man, we like, what you say? And then we're ready to react instead of kind of taking it in the context and listening to what someone says. Because a lot of times what someone has to say is something that she needs to listen to before she responds. But she's so quick to react. And here we are with her and D.L. Hughley going back and forth. Now, D.L. Hughley was like, listen, man, I ain't got nothing to worry about, man. My career, my resume speaks for itself. And she has a pretty decent resume, too. Golden Globe, Oscar winner. She's had a successful TV show. Mm-hmm. But I think some of the responsibility should fall on the promoters. Like, if you're telling someone, or not just the individual, you're making this notation to their team that these are the things that you agreed to. Now, her receipt shows signatures on her receipts that this was given to me, but it looks like a document that she created, issuing it to the promoter like, these are my demands. You know what I'm saying? Versus DL getting presented with a deal memo saying these are the things, like, you know, 100% headliner, highest paid artist. You have the approval for the lineup. And that's where he's like, hold on. If I'm approving a lineup, I'm not going before her. I'm headlining. I'm closing this out. And that's where the riff comes in. I mean, it's, in my opinion, it's pretty petty, but I think some of this stemmed from a radio.
All of this stems from something else. All of this.
And she says that on the interview, she was asked towards the conclusion of the show to play a game called Would You Rather? And the question was, would you rather your husband sleep with Lee Daniels without a condom versus would you rather him sleep with Superhead with the condom? I was like, well, damn, why would someone ask that if you got millions of listeners? And I think because she is the bear in the cage, so to speak, they poke at her. They poke at her knowing, just like you said, she's gonna go for the low-hanging fruit. She's gonna make herself, you know what I'm saying? Not so much a spectacle, but you're gonna hear it. You tell you, this girl is from Baltimore. The women don't let shit slide for nothing. They hear something that's foul, they coming right at you.
Yo, but here's so let's get. I agree with you 100%. It's definitely, you know, on the promoters. But here's the other thing, like, yo, I'm not a comedian. I'm not a stagehand. I'm not a promoter. You know, I assume that you're none of those either. If you and I both know that, you don't think Monique knew that? You don't think she knew that? Yo, this is an issue with the promoter. Right. I just think that, you know, and I get whatever the history is, you know, with them.
Right.
But then again, like, yo, for you to take whatever history that you have with this man, and I wasn't at the show, so I don't know. But I'm telling you, if I was sitting in the audience, it would have had to been some damn funny jokes to make me laugh
She
about
was
DL,
roasting.
about DL Hughley. I'd have been like, yo, I didn't really come to see you lay on the line your personal riff with this dude or whatever. Like, yo, this is not a snapping contest or whatever. I'm coming to see you do. I'm assuming that you got a routine or something like that prepared to entertain me with. And again, like I feel like also you got a point where like she's the person that, you know, the bear in the cage that they poke, because just recently I believe she landed a role. 50 Cent kind of gave her the battery pack boost and got her back, where people was like, all right, we're gonna bring her back in the fold. I see Lee Daniels is massaging and trying to rework the relationship and everything like that. And just with that little bit of getting to a point where, all right, we're gonna rework and revisit the relationship. And now here you are with something like this. Like, this only further perpetuates the narrative of like, yo, this is why people don't want to work with you. They don't want to work with you. Like, yo, it really don't have anything to do with, yo, okay, she's a black woman. That don't have nothing to do. Like, it was the same shit with the Netflix stuff. With Netflix, oh, you know, I'm a black woman and this, that, or whatever. When all the time, I think Charlamagne got into it with that. And he was saying, well, if you look at the analytics around it, like, yo, analytics are used in everything. That's the same thing as saying, like, you know, how you call it, like, in Major League Baseball, you know, there's a black baseball player. How come he making less than a white baseball player whose stats is significantly better, you know, better than him? Or whatever. Like, what you gonna be? Nah, yo, that's the wage disparity comes basis of a race. Like, you can't use the analytics when they beneficial for you, and then when they don't benefit you, disregard them on the merit of your accolades. Like, yo, right now, come on, we got how you call it? Tim Duncan won MVP awards. Michael Jordan won MVP awards. What if both of them said they was coming back in the league? Would you make them the highest paid player in the league?
No.
Exactly. But you know what? Then if you her, she'd be like, yo, well, this is a race issue. You're not doing it because they two black men.
Yeah, and she'll make it an age issue. She'll just make it an issue, bro. She'll find the lowest hanging fruit and she'll go with it. And I hate to say it, but that's what it looks like when she's in a little word battle with someone. She goes there and she hits below the belt, man. I mean, the shit she was saying about DL in the show, son, was like, yo, you ain't got to bring his wife in it. You ain't got to.
Rob, I'm gonna tell you what's scary about that in this day and age with cancel culture. If her reputation wasn't what it was, if her reputation wasn't what it was, or if she wasn't going up against people who quote unquote are powerful people or whatever, yo, the average Joe, she'll get them canceled in a minute. Oh, you're racist. You're like, yo, what?
Right.
Oh, you know, you how you call it? You're a misogynist. Right. Like, I just think that she just throws stuff out. And I'm sorry, like, yo, I find her to be patronizing, like all the sweetie baby, honey brother, sister love and this, that, or whatever. Like, yo, I'm like, come on, man. Like, yo, I one thing I don't have a problem with that a lot of people are really critical of is her relationship with her husband. Like, yo, if her husband is her manager and he's side by side with her and he believes that he has her best interests at heart and they doing whatever they need to do as a team, like, yo, I can respect and understand that. I just think that in a business where reputation will take you a long way, I'm not saying that she need to bow down or kiss anybody's ass, but I just think that, yo, she had to figure out like better ways to express herself or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
And don't continue to weaponize these things, because she's come up against them in the past, but there's gonna come a moment where she's truly gonna come up against it, and her constantly crying wolf with it, she's devalued the impact of it, and people are gonna be like, yo, well, every time something comes up, when you know, when you got into with Charlamagne, you called him an ageist. When you got into with Netflix, they were racist. When you got into it with
Steve Harvey too,
misogynistic. When you got into it with how you call it, Oprah Winfrey, and they black, it's just always something. Always something.
Well, look, bro, you know, honestly, I thought it was petty for the both of them to go back and forth.
No, it definitely was.
You're two professionals, and you know, I think I listened to Ricky Smiley's take on it, and he said, you know what? There are tons of shows I do with D-Ray, Earthquake, Bruce, and you know, I sometimes I get the impression that I'm the headliner or I'm gonna close, but when I get to the stadium or the venue, I find out that things change. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, we're all comedians. We're there to give a entertaining show. So he said one time Bruce was closing out or he went performing. I was like, you know what, Bruce, go do your thing, son.
Mm.
You know what I mean? I'm not sitting here worried about that. Look, as long as the check is right, you know what I mean?
Bingo.
As long as the money is right, the money that you said you was going to give me in whatever contract,
Mm-hmm.
whatever deal memo or
Mm-hmm.
whatever performance agreement, just make sure my O's and the decimal points match up. That's it.
Yo, I'm the only thing I would have in my deal is that I need to be the highest per paid performer on the bill. The rest of it, if they want me to go on when how you call it, nobody in
Third, last, middle.
I don't see what the issue is. But again, like I'm not a professional performer, so I get it. I'm like I understand. I understand what it means to people's egos and their reputations and things like that. But I think that once you start creating a reputation, whether that narrative is true or untrue, there's certainly a lot of ammunition that's being given to make these arguments appear to be credible. Because of the stuff that keeps coming up. So for me, it's like, the industry finally starting to take their foot off her neck. Like, the doors opening back up. Go in there, do your thing, rebuild your brand, go out, get you another show, get in some movies and turn it around. And I'm not saying that she need to kiss nobody but she got to find a better way, bro.
Get your credit up. Focus on your brand if you got one. Focus on the positive things. Like you said, they're opening the door back open for you to, be creative. That's what you do. You take it while it's there. But if you're gonna stir the pot and call people out, you right back where you started, son. She was whack for saying, I'm
she
sorry.
Don't know how his wife sleep with him at night or something.
So like how he sucking off a coward. Like how you
Yo.
And I heard in the crowd, of course, there was some booze in there. That was low. That was low. But you're not. Let me tell you something. She's 100% Baltimore. You're not gonna shut her up, but you ain't learned yet, bro.
Yo, that's wild to me. The fact that she would even say that to homeboy.
Yes, and then after that, she says, we're not supposed to bring people's family in it. Then why'd you do it? Yo, you set yourself up for shit like that, and then nobody wants to work with you because you are a headache.
Yeah, you know I mean? I just hope that this doesn't derail her. Like I went to her page on Instagram and I listened to her and her husband's. I listened to some of it. It was over an hour long. I was like, I'm not gonna sit through the patronizing sweetie honey baby this that or whatever. So I listened to some of it and then I read the comments and the comments. I'm like, on your own page, literally usually on people's own page, they're gonna have some support. A lot of her comments was people lighting her up, like, yo, you gotta stop with this.
Get this shit out, man.
Yeah, get yourself together. I like I said, like I want to see her get back in a position. I kind of feel like some of this I attribute to like the ego of winning that Academy Award. I think she won that Academy Award for Precious, and it was just like you could no longer say anything else.
I've created, I reached an achievement only a few.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? To her credit, she's earned that. You know what I mean? All of them have earned that. I mean, we may not like the roles that our Oscar winners have won it for, but you won it. Take that with a grain of salt, put it on your mantle, move on, man.
Yeah.
You won the Golden Globe too, so we know that you're talented. It's not like she's lacking talent. She is a funny comedian. I believe she is. You know what I mean? And she has a resume that shows from her TV shows, anything she's done. She said, you open for Kings and Comedy. I close for Queens. Like, see, you throwing shots. Like,
yeah,
don't do that. But
yes,
tell a chick like that she can't say what she want to say.
Monique is running around though like she went to Juilliard and did Shakespeare in the Park. Like, she got just because you got a whole bunch of films under your belt don't mean that they that you the next freaking DiCaprio something, like, because you did Soul Plane, Roscoe Jenkins, The Parkers, Precious. What else was she in?
Those Those are the ones I was gonna say.
Exactly.
Hello,
Queens of comedy.
hello, Monique talks. Hello, Monique. She had a talk show for
She had it, yeah. But she probably chased people away from that shit. Toxic. Yo, speaking of toxic, I don't know if you've been following this Johnny Depp and Amber Heard thing, but I have to say, like, yo, to me, seeing this over the last couple of weeks, it made me feel really good. Not because abuse under any circumstance is not good, but it made me feel good that the world's most toxic relationship belongs to somebody that's not in our community. The level of toxicness in this relationship with this woman defecating in the man's bed, the drugs, the sex, the alcohol, the abuse.
He slapped me because I laughed at his tattoo, and so many allegations and nothing stuck. I mean, like you said, I'm glad it's not in our community. But this is what happens when you're 58 years old and you're dating a 32-year-old. You fucking with these young chicks. These young chicks is different. Yo, you gotta leave them alone, son. You know what I mean? And she complained that all this happened even before they got married. So why'd you marry the nigga if you know he's beating you upside your damn head?
Yo, he's a multi-millionaire. I think from him, she went to Elon Musk.
See? Come on, that's gold digger shit right there. You jumped in his pockets, man.
She definitely getting to the bag. When this first started, I'm like, yo, Johnny Depp been weird to me since Edward Scissorhands. Since he did Edward Scissorhands, it's just been, he just like out there. Right. He's out there. So I guess she's banking on the fact that he's not believable as a person. She's banking on that and the societal norm around these kind of things, right? Like the societal norm around this is that when you hear something about abuse in a relationship, you know, you don't usually think female to male, you think male to female.
Right.
So for her, I'm sure to countersue him was a no-brainer. Like, yo, I'm gonna get him. He said that I defamed him. I'm gonna get him on defamation. I'm gonna get in the chair and I'll play damsel in distress, and the jury is gonna buy it up. But hey, yo, his lawyer was damn good. Like his lawyers,
his team said, nah, that photo, she wasn't beat up. She made that photo on Apple photo editing. I was like, yo, son, how the fuck you figure that one out? Listen, man, this is trouble in paradise, but thank God it's not anybody that we're dealing with. Like, you know, I don't condone any type of marital violence or any violence between two people in their relationship. I don't. And for this high of a caliber of a relationship to take the spin that it did, and she goes on and says she's a representative of, you know, domestic abuse and all this stuff, and Depp was saying, man, I had to battle this for 6 years, man. Everywhere I go around the planet, you know, even abroad, people are looking at me like I'm this demonic, mean guy. Yeah. And maybe his movie selections made, you know, people, you know, you gotta be careful with some of the things you do, because people take things on face value very quickly. You know what I'm saying? And people probably think, you know, most actors go through sort of mental issues when they come off of certain movies, and you know, your mental, you know, aptitude ain't there, and this guy is just a weird guy, and who knows what he does on his spare time. When, you know, according to Depp, he's a normal, regular guy. He just takes challenging roles.
Yeah, all right.
He takes challenging roles that, you know, lead him in different places. You know, I mean, but it's nothing worse for false allegations in this kind of culture, man. Like, people have run with it, and then before you know it, you got to repair your life. You know, he said, you know, he thanks to the jury, shout out to the jury, because now I got my life back. But now you have to repair it, because like Monique, certain people are like, should we ask him? You know what I mean? We're gonna get backlash. We're gonna have people outside picketing the premiere if we put.
Oh, them drugs was definitely his too.
Son, you already know.
Them drugs was, yo, you know who the world owe an apology to?
Who?
Bobby Brown and posthumously Whitney Houston. Because prior to this, they was everybody, yo, no way they should be a couple. they had this going on, they had that going on. But if you look at the stuff and you follow this trial, the stuff that Johnny Depp and Amber Heard had going on is just like, yo, this is like the worst relationship in the history of relationships. This is
if they high all the time, some shit gonna pop off. You're under the influence, you drunk, you're doing speed, you're doing. Come on, son, you're not even in your right state of mind. You know,
yo, Rob, I want
a young chick looking for a thrill with a well-known paid actor.
Yo, and you don't find it funny though that everything that there was so much evidence, like photographic evidence. What kind of relationship they in that every like yo they get into a fight?
She met him on the set 2011. Then one of her allegations is that he was already being physical with me in 2013, and that changed my life. But you married him in 2015.
Why is everything documented though? Like, why is there pictures of cocaine? Why is there pictures of every time they got into a fist fight? Why is there pictures of him with his finger? Why is there It's like, yo, everything is documented with them.
You're setting up the Karen story on this thing.
Why would you want to be? I couldn't see myself being in a relationship where I'm constantly, I gotta have the recorder running when me and my wife have a conversation, or I gotta
is who she is.
Yeah, or I got to take a picture like, oh, me and her done got into it. Let me take a picture of where I was standing at. And this, it's just like, yo, I'm telling you, this is worse than Pookie and Ray Ray on Hunts Point in the Bronx or whatever. Yo, the level of toxicity for this relationship is just unacceptable. Like, who sticks around? Who sticks around for this? Like, yo, this had to be drug induced.
What does it say about a society and how we view relationship and violence? And the play of drugs and all these different things that go on. Because trust me, man, I'm not putting my business out there, but I've been in relationships where me and my partner in the past, we drank, we smoked. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it turned into an argument because we high and drunk. You know what I'm saying? And then you wake up tomorrow morning like, what the fuck did I just do to myself?
Yeah.
How did I get here now having to defend myself? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So you gotta be very careful, man, when you're dealing with people, especially at this level of entertainers. You know what I mean? And what makes her go on the Washington Post and defame the dude? Like, what was you trying to prove? I mean, and then you got people that get on the stand and say, "Yeah, Johnny is this," but you weren't there. Yeah. It just started looking like a ghost hunt after a while.
He initially paid her to go away. You know that, right?
What, the $2 million?
He gave her some bread. He ended up having to give her as like part of the initial divorce, I think, settlement, had to give her some money. And there was supposed to be like some donation that she was supposed to make. And his position was like, okay, if this money is being donated to a charity rather than me giving it to you, I'm going to just donate it straight to the charity. She said no, she wanted the money and that she would do it. Now, this whole agreement came into play at this recent trial, and she finally admitted that she never donated the money. She kept the money. Like her credibility.
How did that work? How did that work with the jury at that point?
Yeah,
you're up to schemes. You're up to something, and you're trying to defame this individual's character. That's what it looks like. And the jury, hands down, awarded him the case, bro.
Yeah.
And he had the super team. He got the money to pay for it. So she wasn't going to win that shit.
Yeah. And you know what? I think at the end of the day, like I said, like I think this is one of these cases that kind of set precedents. Like we laugh and we joke about it, but I think it was a good it was a good legitimate victory that helps people actually recognize that, partner abuse exists, and it's not always necessarily male to female. You know what I'm saying? Like there are men, kudos to him for being brave enough to actually stepping out and saying that he was subjected to this abuse. And I don't even know if what triggered him actually doing this was more about the abuse more so than about actually the defaming of his character, like having to walk around wearing a label of an abuser when you were the one that was abused in a relationship. Like that is the part I think that really, really bothered him.
It's hard to get from up under an allegation like that. Like, there's some women out here that do some heinous shit. Like, they put their baby fathers in positions where they can't get from under, like, he abused my child or he he was fondling with my daughter and this, that, and the third. And just because of the allegation, man, now they investigating this guy's entire life. Has he been doing this? Is he a pedophile? Has he watched child porn? You have people all in your business. And, you know, that was like for 6 years, man. Now my kids get to have their life back.
Yeah. Yo, take what you said and tie that back into what we was talking about with D.L. Hughley and Monique when I was saying, yo, the weaponizing everything and how it could destroy somebody's credibility. So you could go from a dude who, you know, you making these decisions as it relates to, you know, whatever it is, ain't got nothing to do with gender. And now all of a sudden, oh, this dude is a misogynist because whatever it is, you know, and that's basically what Amber Heard tried to do to Johnny Depp. Yo, put him in a box. Like, okay, I know that this is the buzzword. Oh, he's an abuser. He's this, he's that, or whatever. Yo, he may have won in court, but like you said, who knows what the jury is going to say for the court of public opinion. Like, he probably will have people protesting.
It's too easy to cry wolf, bro.
Yeah.
It's too easy to come up with something, play it like it's really happening. Like the Karen out there who called the cops on the people doing the barbecue. She's out there crying. Oh, why did he, like, you put on a show and you think people gonna fall for it, man? The days is over, man. Cut it out.
Oh man. Yo, we had touched on this and was talking about it a little bit earlier when we first started up. Soulja Boy tell him. Boy, Soulja Boy complains that OGs aren't kicking back knowledge. Yeah, I have mixed feelings. About this, Rob. The reason why I got mixed feelings about it is because, for one, you know, I think this is a topic that we talk about a lot, and a lot of times we say that the younger generation may not necessarily be receptive to the jewels that people are trying to impart upon them.
Talk about
the flip side of it, though, is I don't know if he's talking about from the standpoint of the industry, because in the industry,
and he said hip hop.
Yeah, because I was going to say in the industry, truth be told, the younger generation has figured out a way to really do more by way of monetization and monetizing their brand than some of the
OGs have done themselves.
Hip hops, yeah. So if you look at it,
Meth said, I mean to cut your wisdom, but Meth said on Math Hoffa,
I saw that too.
He's like, how the hell are these niggas
flying in private jets
all over the place? Can I get that money?
Yeah, no. Because they figured out, yo, the younger cats have figured out a way to monetize their brand, probably in part not because the older cats weren't hip to what's going on, but maybe these mechanisms didn't exist. Maybe these forms of monetization didn't exist when they were at the height of their career.
They didn't, man. And to say the OGs, like, what OGs do you listen to? You born in Chicago, raised in Atlanta, moved to Mississippi. There's so many OGs that come out of them environments. Who are you listening? Like, who's in your camp? Who's in these other young people camp that because they don't have OGs, they're spinning the block, they're shooting niggas up because
that was ignorant for him to say that.
Like, because the OG ain't whispering in his ear, you shouldn't do that. They don't know they shouldn't do that. It's a bunch of bullshit, man. Let me shout out my sister Ronisha because she developed a men's ministry or just a talk. It's kind of like a barbershop talk between men. And you know, I'm old enough, and then there's my man Big Fred, who's old enough, and we talk to young guys, man. You know, you would be surprised how many young men, 25 and under, don't have nobody to really chop it up with. And that part, I understand what he might be saying, but are these young people with the fucking attention span of a gnat? Are they sitting there listening to what OGs are saying? Are they applying the knowledge?
No.
Someone is giving to them, or if it doesn't sound good, I'm gonna go do it my way. And a lot of them have, like you said, a lot of them are very successful in their efforts of branding, monetizing, creating their own lane. They don't need an OG. You know what I'm saying? They can honestly say, "Your OG, that happened in your time. This is a different time." You know what I mean? And then there are also OGs who are chasing what the young niggas doing.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? Because they see the young brothers making moves, doing things differently. They're like, yo, son, I ain't had that lick. I need to get with that. So let me get young so-and-so's ear. So, you know, we always talk about bridging the gap and having dialogue with the millennials, the younger folks, or whatever have you. But they have to be just as receptive, versus us just giving away jewels. Because you know what? You shouldn't
Yeah.
cast pearls. Shouldn't cast pearls before swine. So how am I gonna give you gems and you not gonna take them for what they were?
Yeah. Yo, you know what I thought about also though? I removed it off of Soulja Boy in particular and who his OG may be. And I thought about it like on a larger scale. And I kind of went to, well, maybe he's talking about what we were saying before about how dudes come in the game, get robbed, and then instead of them teaching somebody how not to get robbed, they didn't get an artist and rob that artist, and then it just becomes sort of like a ritual or a
Right,
pattern
right,
in the
right,
game. Like I'm like, maybe that's what he's talking about in
right.
terms of how that and that that may very well be it. That's a
Like
very real
saying,
problem.
you kind of letting them know where the pitfalls and the potholes are
Mm-hmm.
contractually. But then, if you're young, you're supposed to have a lawyer for that. You don't just run to your OG. Your OG, I got this contract. Look at it. It's the game, son. The game is the game. So you're gonna go through bumps in the road, man. What artist didn't learn from getting robbed? I hate to say it that way, but
Yeah, yeah.
everyone has talked about, I wanted the deal. I want to be an artist. But then you sign your name and you find out, damn, son, I gotta recoup all this shit.
So yo, here's another thing to consider. Like, yo, what are we when he's talking about OGs? Like, who is he talking about in the form of an OG? Because yo, if it's an OG, if I'm him and my OG is Jermaine Dupri because I was in Atlanta, then yo, Jermaine Dupri has enough knowledge of the industry to actually put you on and be like, yo, that's not a good deal or this, that. As far as I'm concerned, and I may get backlash for saying this, I think that Soulja Boy is an innovator. Like, am I a fan of his music? No. But yo, Soulja Boy's an innovator, and Soulja Boy, we on YouTube right now. Soulja Boy at one point was like the biggest thing on YouTube. Soulja Boy was independent success, ringtone king, all these different things.
And whoever put that bug in the air, that ain't come from his 14-year-old brother. That came from someone. You know what I'm saying? Yo, you should do this, or that's a good idea. Keep going with that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's I don't know, bro. Let me tell you something. Because if I see a troubled kid, and I know he's going through something, he has the potential to get into something. This is what I said on the men's ministry too. One of the things I sit and I chat with him, but I tell you this: one of the things my pops did for me, and a lot of OGs did for me, son, is that they took me out of the environment that I was in, because it was the environment that I was learning these behaviors from. So to the point, my pops would take, just back in the 80s, when the Lincoln Towns car was like a limo. 6 of us could be in the back comfortable. And he would purposely take us out the hood and just drive in Manhattan, drive through Brooklyn, just wasting gas. We really didn't have no destination, but to be out the hood, to look out the window and see, the World Trade Center, or to see South Street Seaport, places we don't ever see as a kid unless someone's actually taking you there. And what that did for us. And now them same brothers who was in that back of that seat with my pops, they're off living in North Carolina. They're off living. They doing so many different things. And I like to attribute that to it, because it got you out the environment. That's the one thing about the environment, is that it will teach you all the wrong shit to do. You know what I'm saying? Someone's pulling your collar. You know what I mean?
So your pops knew what he was doing. He was showing you something.
Yeah, he told you, like, yo, I know exactly which one of your friends is gonna get locked up, and he was like 99% fact.
The lie detector test determined he was telling the truth.
And he told me straight up. He said, jail is not for you. You don't want to go to jail, especially not now. You 13, 14 years old. They'll rape your little ass. And that's about staying straight. I was like, hold on, they fucking they have sex with boy. Like, listen, son. Even if I had an extracurricular idea or selling or doing anything, all that shit went out the window right then and there. I'm like, damn, I'm not doing nothing.
I would hope though that this sparks a dialogue, by Soulja Boy saying this, because I'm sure that Soulja Boy has been next to people and had the opportunity to have conversations with them.
Wasn't him on the front of the sauce together?
I mean, Soulja Boy's been in some rooms. He's been in rooms with 50 and rooms with Kanye. Soulja Boy's been around for a while. Like that's what I said. Like yo, people respect that Soulja Boy as an innovator. They may not think the world of his music, but you can't deny like there's some level of genius and creativity in Soulja Boy, you know, and him putting this out there, despite the fact that it get backlash. To me, it's a good conversation piece and it's a good starter for a conversation around. Okay, so you want OGs to kick back knowledge. What are you looking for knowledge as it relates to the industry? Are you looking for knowledge as it relates to managing your money? Are you looking for knowledge as it relates to, you know, growing your brand, monetizing this, that? But again, I maintain that some of the younger artists, some of the newer artists probably have more information as it relates to those kind of things than it actually does to, you know, than some of the older artists have. But I don't know. You know, we would have to find out from Soulja Boy what in particular he's looking for from these artists or from these OGs. You know, like that it may be an OG that may just tell him like, yo, you know, instead of you spending all your bread up, you know, you high caller, hold on to some money. You know, put some money aside for a rainy day. Like, you know, maybe the big checks ain't gonna come forever. You know, maybe they told him to make some investments or whatever it is. And I'm sure Soulja Boy's probably been around Floyd Mayweather also. Like he and Soulja Boy's been in rooms with people who, you know, who could help to educate him in various different ways. It's just a matter of what he's receptive to. Maybe the OGs did kick back knowledge, but he wasn't receptive. He wasn't trying to hear it.
Remember, we come from an era where knowledge was in the music. You know what I'm saying? It was always there to either, you know, pick yourself up, think positive. I'll never forget KRS telling us real bad boys move in silence. And I think anyone in our age bracket understands that little tidbit of information. You know what I mean? Keep your fucking mouth shut. That's it. Don't tell everybody what you're doing, how you doing it, because you know sabotagers is out there. They'll curveball you and have you. You know what I'm saying? How you twist it because you done told them what to do. They even stole your whole idea. Now they wearing your clothing. Your son. Just crazy out here, man. So
man,
I like to know what OGs he's talking about, but
yeah.
he's not going to shout nobody out.
Well, let's see. Maybe within the coming weeks we'll hear more from Soulja Boy.
These young dudes need to take accountability for their actions.
That's a fact. Yo, on a somber note, you know, rest in peace to Master P's daughter, Tatiana, who passed away this week. Master P didn't offer up a formal explanation as to how she passed, but it's being reported by sources that she may have passed from overdosing due to substance abuse. And you know, I've watched some of the growing up hip hop show, not a lot of it, but I've seen portions and clips and tidbits of it. And I know in one of the seasons, one of the storylines was that Romeo and Master P was trying to get her to commit to actually going into to rehab. You know, I think a lot of people don't realize sometimes like the substance abuse and mental health issues kind of go hand in hand. In fact, they have counselors in programs that's called MICA. And MICA programs, they try to simultaneously treat both issues, you know, substance abuse and mental health. Like in the world of counseling, there's like this ongoing debate as to which one needs to be dealt with first, right? So some people look at it as, well, if a person is using, they're using to self-medicate because they haven't dealt with their mental health issues. Then there are other people who look at it as, you know, well, a person is mentally ill, and as a result of their mental illness, that's why they're indulging in the substances or whatever. Like, so it's there's just a whole thing in counseling going on in terms of which one do you treat first in order to be successful. In any event, I know Master P has asked for, you know, like just the respect and privacy during this time. And I have to say, I haven't seen it blasted all over the place. I've seen it a couple of places, and people have posted things, you know, with dignity and respect to him. And you know, for me, I'm like, anytime you see something like this, I automatically go to, I hope it wasn't anything fentanyl related. But they did say that they checked and it didn't have anything to do with fentanyl. So that's positive. But she was a young lady, man. She's a young lady.
29 years old, man, and you know, you're already having conversations with your dad about substance abuse, and you know, looking for a considerable rehab at 29. You know, having access sometimes, and you have the propensity to overindulge, hard to come back from that. You know what I mean? Because it's so what you're looking for it's so readily available. Like I know where the lick is. I ain't got to worry. I got the bread.
Yep.
Have as much as I want. I can do what I want when I want it. No one can stop me. I'm an adult.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And when you take it too far, these are the results sometimes, man. Rest in peace to the young lady, bro. And those who are listening, whether young or old, man, be very mindful, man, about overindulgence, man. I had to deal with overindulgence myself, man. I like to eat. I like to do a lot of different things, man.
Mm-hmm.
And after a while, you see how it affects you because every time you turn around, you're doing that thing.
Mm-hmm.
Not worrying about anything else. And that ties right into mental health because that's your mind telling you you need this hit or you need to do this so it can satisfy whatever little urge or little dopamine feel that you have. So you
Yeah.
feel like, I got what I needed. Now I'm good. And then when it runs off, chasing a high.
Yeah.
You know what
I
I'm saying?
think environment too, factors into this. When you think about like what the norm may be, if you out in LA and you're rich, the norm may be you may go to parties where it's cocaine buffets and there's all this open readily drug use is accepted. And that's not to say that in the inner city like the same thing isn't going on, but I think that the temptation may be a little bit greater. I know the clip that I saw with Master P and Romeo, she was talking about that she didn't want to go to rehab and she felt that she could get straight, get herself together without going. And that was one of the things that they were saying to her, like, you don't think you'd be triggered if you was out and about and you seen people, drinking or smoking or whatever it is. And she felt, she was adamant that she felt that she would be able to manage being around that stuff. And then Romeo threw out some, I don't know how the stat I don't think is true, but Romeo threw out something like he's seen people get clean in 2 years. I don't think I can't put a formal number on it, but I know for a fact that I've heard that most people that go impatient and go to those places, that it takes number of times of people actually going impatient to actually get clean. Because you come out and it's like they say, people, places, and things, you get triggered for whatever reason, you're around somebody else that's using, or you have something that's a setback in your life, and the only thing you know how to do to cope with it as a coping mechanism is to use,
Right.
or you can't get a job, whatever it is, put you in a position where it's easy to relapse. So like that sobriety and beating and stuff, like that shit is an uphill battle for a lot of people,
It's
man.
tough. It's also tough for a parent to lose a child.
Exactly.
And here it is, Master P, I'll just say it, being the breadwinner of his family, he's put
Mm-hmm.
his entire family in position to be great. And he always talks about how his grandfather, made him and his brothers into hustlers, man. And we know his story. Mr. Ice Cream Man to all his,
Mm-hmm.
those in his stuff. And, the man even got cereal and pancake mix. Like, nothing that he doesn't want to create. He's putting a
Yes.
brand on everything. And
Mm-hmm.
we have a book of his too where he tells, yo, the sky is not the limit, man. You can do anything you want. You just gotta have the desire to want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And and he has how many kids? He has like 8, 9 kids.
Like 9, I think.
And
9 kids.
some of them, and kids get very entitled. You know what I mean? I ain't gotta do nothing. My dad will take care of me, or I'll get around to doing what it is that I want to do whenever the time comes. And then you balance responsibilities versus having fun. And of course, when you're young, you're moving around with responsibility is the last thing you want to do. You want to have fun. You want to go hang out. You
Yeah.
want to do all these different things. And then, these are the things that happen.
Yeah. Well, my prayers is with Master P and his family right
Absolutely.
now.
Head up, bro. It's
Hopefully,
nothing like burying your child, bro. Nothing like
yeah, yeah. Hopefully, they're able to get through this as a family and heal. Uh, so this concludes episode 130.
130 in the books, baby. Here we
Yeah.
are, son. Here we are, bro. God bless you, man. Listen, man, if you can make it July 6th, it'd be good to have you, for men's ministry. And I told my sister, I said, look, you say you calling this man ministry. I ain't no Bible thumper. Next to the Holy Ghost. Respect to all the Christians that like going to the Bible for the verses. You know what I mean? My brother's I think he's a practicing Israelite. You know how they get. And the Bible says start beating the damn thing. I said I'm gonna come on this platform because you asked me, and you asked me because we're doing it in honor of my pops. You know,
That's dope.
my pops was, at the church that he was a part of, he was head of men's ministries.
Mm.
During the procession that he had, that's one of the things he talked about was getting brothers together, just to
Yeah.
chop it up. Not even to sit here and Bible thump you and get in your head about who Christ is. Some people just need somebody to talk to,
Yeah.
somebody they can relate to, somebody that they can say, damn, he shared his story. That happened. He don't have no problem sharing that. And that's what I led with. I led with sharing my story about my health.
Yeah.
Let people know the ups and downs, the curveballs, the surgeries I've been through. And you're
Mm-hmm.
looking at somebody who's full of life, want more life, and I'm not gonna stop, man. Not that, 2 kidney surgeries is not gonna stop me.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever you think is stopping you, that's your mind telling you that. You can do
That's
it.
a fact. Yeah. Now, and I'm sure it's good to see that that they actually have men that
Mm-hmm.
will invest in time. Time is the most valuable commodity in the world. You can't get that. You can't get any more of that. You can't get that back. So somebody invest their time in you shows a lot.
And use it wisely, bro. For real.
That's a fact. Salute everybody. Peace out. We'll catch you on the next one.
Peace.